Hey, welcome to the Vacuum Save, the vlog. And today I have to talk to you about a whole bunch of stuff, so buckle up, we're gonna just go at it. First of all, cordless Henry has been discontinued. At the time of filming, he's still available in some Amazon warehouse locations, but he's 100% discontinued. If you didn't know, they're coming out with a new cordless stick-vac Henry for NPCs. So I would highly recommend, if you have interest in this product, either A, go buy one while you can, or B, let's all write Pneumatic and ask them to bring back Henry, and also write Ace Care as well. So that's the bad news about cordless Henry, and he now, unfortunately, is not going to get retired. I am going to try and find me a second one of these to keep around for parts, because my wife really likes this vacuum. In fact, she calls it her boyfriend. You might have a longer hose than I do. Anyway, so cordless Henry, we're just going to move you to the side. So, more importantly, what's in the background here? Holy crap, we've been busy. I managed to finally put my Kenmore back together. After being together, I went and checked out the footage of when I first put it together. It's over a year that this Kenmore was sitting apart in my shop, so it's back together. I'm happy to have it. And I think we're going to do a retrospective on it because it is just a fabulous example. There's not many of these things left of this Panasonic Whirlpool, like, cost-cutting Sears design. I mean, just to if you weren't aware, the original Panasonic had a telescoping wand. Sears cut that out on some models, but not on all models. The other thing is that the Kenmore wheels on here fall off, and they changed the type of plastic that was in the washer here. It would later become a Teflon washer as a replacement part, but the Panasonics, the wheels never fell off, only on the Kenmores from my experience. The other thing that's really wacky about this machine is the hose doesn't match. I seem to remember these being the same color originally, but I bet this one was replaced at some time. So I'm just kind of happy to have this awkward beast of a canister, and we're just going to park it over here. My gosh. Ugh. And it just creaks and makes all those horrible sounds. And they did that back 10, 15 years ago when I was fixing these. Absolutely horrible. Okay, next let's talk about something that is gorgeous. I had this in the last vlog, but I did not have bags or a belt. I now have proper F&G HEPA bags in here. And yes, I know this took a C bag. The reason for using the HEPA bag is, you see, not only does it go right on the tube without any cutting, but the F&G design, it allows the dirt to flow up and then fall down rather than a bottom empty. So it converts the bag to a top empty, essentially. And that is not only good for airflow, but it's a little bit better when you're changing it. So I do like that about doing that as well. You can't quite fill them as far as you would in Eureka on a Hoover, but hey, that's all right. You know, this is not a daily driver. And if you're not a part of the Discord server, go check out our Discord server. We even have this emoji for this vacuum in that server. And I know all of our Hoover fans are going to appreciate that. And I have the studio mic attached. Well, that one definitely beats as it sweeps, as it cleans, and it is gorgeous. Now, there's not a video of me fixing this up because I had my friend Dr. Schringelmeyer fix that up for me. Next thing to talk about is the Panasonic. The Panasonic. Man, I have wanted one of these for a while. I found one last year, and it sat around, and I did nothing with it. I didn't even take it apart. So, finally had a chance to take it apart and go through it, and it is gorgeous. Now, there's a couple things going on with this. First of all, I do have a Recar HEPA bag in there. This just happens to be what I have. It's a HEPA bag. I used a Fuller filter in there, or a Carpet Pro filter, pre-motor filter. Fits it perfectly. Unfortunately, when I took this thing apart, or rather, when it was taken apart, because I didn't actually fix this one, I put it back together, but I did not take it apart. Anyways, more on that later. But this machine, the gasket and that foam filter just like crumbled. So I had to find me another gasket, and after looking through a wholesale distributor, I did find one. It was quite large. I actually had to trim it, but I got it to work, and now the machine is working. Now before I turn it on, I want to show you the bottom side of the brush roller. This has the metal brush roller with the 2-belt system. The brushes are okay, but unfortunately the housing and the brush roller are worn a little bit. I have it shimmed, but it does vibrate more than it should. So when I turn this on, it's going to be a little louder than it normally would be. And I don't think it's a fair representation to how smooth Panasonics are. So maybe if I can find a, it's hard to say a different housing. This one looks really good. I haven't, again, quite figured out what I'm going to do with that. I don't know if I can't just lift that up, but basically one of these sides, it's a little worn and I have it shimmed. Anyways, but it did have the original plastic on it, both up here and down there, and it just looks great. And the whole thing just feels fantastic and very much of its vintage. Again, I need to do something about it, but it is smooth feeling despite all that extra vibration and sound. But it's definitely a looker. All right, next order of business. I have some crap. Oh yeah, this hunk of junk. So I have just put this back in the box. I've reboxed it the way it came. And the question is, what do I do next with this? Do I give this away? Well, I don't think any of you probably want this. At least not my Patreon supporters. I'm sure there'll be somebody in the comments who's going to beg for a free vacuum. But I digress. Do I sell this on eBay to some poor soul? I don't know about that. So I've kind of... This is the problem with getting some of these products for review, is when they're shitty like this, what do I do with the product? Do I just sell it? Do I keep it because it's not going to be around? You know, this is, you know, if I throw this in storage and I pull this sucker out in 10 years, there's going to be some little vacuum kid who, just like Dirt Devil and some of the other brands, is just going to be like, oh my god. The other thing is, I got rid of my Romney X20, and I wish I hadn't done that. One, because that's the weirdest Romney that they ever made. Two, we can't really get Romney, but we can get Romney. They were cut off for the country politically for a while. So the same thing could happen to them, especially since they do have software they're installing on people's phones and stuff. So I'm kind of just going to hold on to it, I think, for now. But it's just like one of those things where when you get a product like this... Here is another one of those products that the company sent me that I'm just never going to use. Now this one's interesting because supposedly they're going to start a Kickstarter, and they sent me 2 of them. After I posted the review, I got a second one just sent to me. They really don't know their ass from their mouth, from their left or right hand with this company. It's actually another company they've been emailing me out. I'm trying to remember. It's something marketing who owns them. Anyways, I'll put the email in here. But this was a disaster. In fact, they asked me to take down the video of this, which Google did not really push out, unfortunately. But I'm not taking it down. I'm going to keep it up. I don't think somebody should buy this. And shame on them for sending me you know, whatever this is. It's the one I got. This one came to me used. It didn't have an instruction manual. It had hair in the filter, and there were watermarks. And they sent me an email trying to say, "Oh, this was quality control checking it." You don't quality control something and get hair stuck in the filter. It doesn't work that way. The watermarks I could see, but not the rest of it. So they're going to need another new name. So if you haven't seen this review and you want to hear, 10, 15 minutes of me bitching about this company, I would say go check that out. I'll put a card here if I can even still do that. So yeah, there's that product. Now, a lot of you are going to get super excited about this. Oh, God, Dyson, why? So this machine has an interesting backstory to it. One, it was given to me by a friend, so that makes it interesting all by itself. But the more interesting story about this is a Dyson made by Bissell for Amway without Dyson's permission. So go check out the Dyson story video if you're not familiar with the story on how this came to be. But yeah, that's how the Scamway Dyson started. And this has a damn height adjustment, and I don't know why Dyson got away from that, but a height adjustment is such an important feature when we're cleaning carpet. So I'm glad it has it, and if you've never used one of these things actually clean fairly well. They're one of the few bagless machines approved by the Carpet and Rug Institute. It's a heavy vacuum. It's got a substantial brush roller, and it gets crazier because the parts are still available. I've got a set of genuine filters right here. I've got a generic Panasonic valve, and I got a genuine part I need to install for it. So all of that is just interesting on its own, that you can get parts for this thing despite it being like a 30-some-year-old design. And the way they got around their Dyson hoo-ha is they started selling them as repair parts for a refurbished machine. Anyways, so you can actually still go buy these from Amway if you wanted. The bad news is the filters I just threw down are the only filters. Those are the pre-motor filters, and that's it. There's no post-motor filtration on this machine. And yeah, good luck if you have allergies or care at all about your indoor air quality. Yeah, so I got to put this thing on here and remove this one. What had happens is over time, because this one's old, is if we look on here, focus, okay, see this gasket? That basically gets all beat up. And that happens with just about any diverter valve. This reminds me of the Taconi diverter valves. They used actually felt on the Taconi diverter valves, and they failed as well in the same manner. So we'll put this guy on. Oh, it's just got a thumb screw. In fact, let's do that. Yeah, that just goes off. You can see where that one's all fucked up. Nice thing about not being monetized on YouTube, on this channel at least, is I can say whatever the hell I want, and there is nobody to care. That probably would have kind of worked. But yeah, we'll put it on right. I'm going to reuse that screw. It's sun faded equally, and you can see the colors are just not going to match. Man, this is super weird. It's just... yeah, so let's pull the filter out. I have the original filter in there. Yeah, I'd rather not do that. I still cannot believe that this is, like, they could slap a HEPA filter on the front of this bad boy. Jeez, this is just, and so now we have so That goes on there. That goes there. That goes there, and all that tucks in. And you can still get, there's the manual. Yeah, that gasket's intact. Again, you can still get this. I'm going to do like a whole retrospective on this machine just because it is weirder than shit. It is just such a weird-ass machine. Again, being kind of a Dyson design. Anyway, so that all fits in there. And these parts, they're not inexpensive. They're not cheap either, but their shipping is where they'll get you with this particular company. So just be warned, they are going to charge you like $10 shipping, $15 shipping for these parts on these clear tracks. You know, I haven't actually pulled one of these apart in forever. Yeah, they do have Phillips screws. I am remembering properly. Oh, it's a fucking flathead. But yeah, that's the bottom of it. It's got a rubber stretch belt. Yeah, I don't feel like turning that on, dealing with that tonight. It's almost 11 here. And for those who don't know, I've gone back into the vacuum industry doing central vacuum installs pretty much full time. So yeah, that's where I've spent the majority of my time. So between that and it being summer, and you know, I have a lot of summer hobbies that don't include vacuums. I know it's hard to imagine. So I just haven't been able to spend the time. It's not even a will, it's just there's only so many hours in a day. So anyway, so I'm only able to film now 1 day a week. So that's why you see less vlogs and why you see less main content on the channel. Though I can still get a video out once a week. I think that makes everybody happy. Yeah, I hope you liked this edition of Vacuum Saved. And next episode, I'll fire this bad boy up for y'all to see. Again, write Pneumatic, join our Discord, and of course, have yourself a fantastic day.